So we can ensure that the consistent information is distributed. Can that just come from your office? Okay, I want everyone to be looking at the same documents. So discussion and possible action related to advisory boards, ordinance, online municipal code. Would that be a good topic?
Sure.
Did I capture it?
I got it.
Okay. And then any other possible new agenda items?
Madam Chairman, I have one.
Please.
I'd like to add discussion and possible action related to recommendations to be made to the City Council regarding Coyote Aviation.
Okay. Recommendation regarding Coyote. What'd you finish it? Coyote what?
Aviation.
Aviation. All right. And this recommendation is in regards to a community opinion.
Recommendations being made to City Council regarding the land lease dispute.
Land lease dispute.
Madam Chair, that's already been decided by a court. You're going to final, I think on the 4th, is it? August 4th or something like that?
I have not been part of those discussions.
Well, I have. And we're just waiting for the final, the courts ruled in the city's favor, and there was appeal made, and that appeal was turned down. And so we're just waiting for the final. I think it comes August 4th. I'll let you know. I'll talk to the city attorney.
I have a simple question.
Sure.
So sometimes the courts can make decisions that aren't the same decisions the people that make up the community of Redlands would want to see happen. That there is quite a bit of talk that I hear, not from people at the airport, from people that are just on State Street that own businesses, people that are afraid that own businesses in the city of Redlands, saying, well, what's next? Sometimes we can win in court, but we're not winning in the eyes of our community members that we represent. And that, I think, is where Mr. Cook is coming from, if I'm not correct. Am I? Okay. And that's what the recommendation I think he wanted to give was, court may say this, but in the eyes of the community says this.
Well, with all due respect, there's an election every 2 years for November. We're doing a lousy job, vote us out. Simple as that.
We don't think it's the council doing the job. We think it's a court doing the job.
Well, no, it's not. You don't, let me, we have to sit down, it's a lot more detailed than what you're getting here, okay? This thing's been going on for almost 3 years. Well, a little over 2.5 years. Over 3 years, right? Yeah, so it's been over 3 years. Right, this hasn't been exactly a thing that was, decided. We're not trying to push anybody out, and we didn't get a lot of cooperation.
Mayor Pro Tem Barich, if you're saying that there's more to this story that we're not being told on the board, wouldn't it be the perfect opportunity to add this to the next agenda so the community has an opportunity to tell us how they feel about it, and if there is more information to be shared, to let it be shared at that meeting?
I don't have a problem with that. I'll check with the city attorney, find there's any problem with that.
If the city attorney has a problem with it, we can still talk about it. We have a First Amendment right to talk about it.
I'm not saying you don't, okay? But go ahead and say whatever you want. It doesn't matter to me, okay?
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't. I mean, you don't, a lot more listen, I didn't really want to get into this tonight, okay? But it's really...
Everyone's here just for this topic.
Well, that's great, okay? First of all, we're talking about the lease that was not requested for a renewal until way past the 2020 year lease that ended, which ended in April, 3.5 years ago. And so we exercised our right to raise the rates, and that was rejected. As a matter of fact, quite honestly, this is the first time that the owner has really been, after we've already got these decisions from the court, now he's coming in and saying, okay, let's make a deal. I've tried to make a deal with 3 years ago when we first talked about it. Listen, I'm talking, please.
Do we get a chance?
You want to come up?
Yeah.
Come up to a city council meeting, you can get your 3 minutes, okay?
Madam Chairman, could we open up a public comment again for this topic?
I don't like to blindside anyone, and we had our 3 minutes in the beginning where people could have made comments and they didn't. I think it's better agendized for next week so that as they do their public comments, they're prepared to answer or listen. And that's my opinion, but if you guys disagree with me, then I'm open to listening to that agreement or disagreement.
I would be more comfortable from a Brown Act perspective if we agendize it for next meeting. I think what the Mayor Pro Tem was stating is that basically any recommendation to City Council coming out of that discussion may be null and void because those decisions and closed session agreements and discussions have already been made by Council. There is no reason not to agendize that and discuss it if you guys would like to, but a recommendation to City Council may be passed when there was an opportunity for changes in those discussions to be made. Is that a fair statement, Mr. Mayor?
That's a fair statement, yes.
Yeah, and I believe that
I'm
what
not
they're
quite sure
reaching
it
for
is.
is to be heard. A lot of people feel that the people of the community haven't been heard. Not just Mr. Brown, just the people as a whole aren't feeling heard. And that's what I keep hearing from them. And I tell them, you can reach them by email, you can reach them by your phone. I haven't ever found any council person to be unreachable, but it is unusual for someone who's never spoken to you. And I get it, I get what they're saying. So that's why we felt when we were asked that if it was going to be discussed, this is the Airport Advisory Board, it should be discussed with the airport.
Well, again, this has been in litigation, so.
We get it. And we also understand that this all started during COVID. We also understand that 2 people quit from the city, and a lot of this had to do with this particular topic. And that part does resonate, there's issues.
Well, again, you're looking at, you're taking, I know what you're talking about, okay? And again, everything's documented. I'll be more than happy to get what we can from the courts, okay? Everything was in black and white. Okay, the lease that we had with this gentleman wasn't picked up. We tried to work several times with other things, and I've got to admit we were unreasonable for the first time, but we lowered the rent quite a bit, like, and he was, we've been, yeah, we've been. Listen. I'll tell you,
I don't think
anybody on the city council, we've discussed this in closed session, okay, that we feel we've been over backwards for this person. And that we have, and that court decided, it's in black and white what it is, and we're gonna have to, we'll go on what the San Bernardino County courts have. It's all in black and white. We'll get, I think, a final decision the 4th of August.
So you're telling me as a citizen, I'm just the citizen, I'm not the chair, as a citizen in the city of Redlands, even if the court makes a decision that you could elevate and have a better outcome, you won't do it because the court said this?
No. What do you mean by a better outcome? What's a better outcome? A better outcome to you might be a different better outcome to somebody else.
Good faith negotiation.
Yeah.
Our city motto is a city that works. It's not working for the people right now. It's working against the people.
That is kind of why this board wants to address this and send to the council recommendations, whether it's what the court says or something different.
Well, this has been going on for some time, gentlemen.
Yes.
Okay, this is something that hasn't been just the last 6 months. This has been going on for 2.5, 3 years. They have plenty of time to do something. The tenant had a plan to come back and make counter offers. We didn't get a damn one counter offer at the city. So I think the city went and so you're hearing that side, okay?
Mayor Pro Tem Barich, when I started on this committee, I was told when I was appointed to not talk about Coyote Aviation. From day one, I've been silenced about this topic. The community, all of them. It's high time the community gets time to have their voice heard on this topic.
It's one of the problems, if I may just interject, and that is, it's been so hushed that maybe a lot of the individuals don't quite understand what's taking place. You have your opinion, they have their opinion. I'm just kind of weighing what's left and what's right, and I kind of take the middle of the road, whatever I can get. So the information that's come out, like any serious case in court, is always kept confidential to the end. In my viewpoint, if they lose the case, they can appeal to the courts of appeal in the state of California. They can go right up to the Supreme Court of California. It's not done, really, but you've made an awful lot of enemies within the city. That's what I'm hearing. A lot of people are pretty angry. I'm not just talking about the airport group. I'm just talking about neighbors that catch a little word here and there. There's a lot of anger going on.
I'm saying that they're getting one side of it and not the city side.
We're not having closed meetings.
And so
that's what it is. And you know me, I never hold anger towards anything. I just don't. It's not worth my time. But I don't have a clear conscience on what's going on, especially since we stayed silent because we were told to stay silent. I felt I didn't do my job. I felt I should have spoke up.
who told you to be silent? That's the idea of this. You had every opportunity in the last 3.5 years to talk about this.
No.
Who told you it was had to be silent? Not me.
Appointee.
I'm sorry?
My appointee told me not to speak about this topic.
And who is that?
A city council member in charge of the board.
Wasn't me. And I've been the liaison for the last 8 years.
There is a vice chair, a vice liaison.
We were told not to speak about it because it was in litigation.
Well, and it wasn't
At
right.
the
But
airport.
litigation just, well, we've been in litigation, what, 2 months?
No, it's been
Less than 2 months?
We've been told since 2021. Since the
Not
signs-
official litigation, okay, the lease came up, was never exercised. We tried to negotiate a different rate, okay? Never heard from, there was never any counter made. So we didn't have any other choice but take the action we did.
And I've been told that and I don't know if this is true, but I've been told that the council people weren't always privy to what really happened. You weren't told the truth. And that's,
I disagree with that, but anyway.
okay, but then that's not coming from the airport constituents that are sitting out here. That actually came from your airport supervisor. That's not sitting here.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of gone down a path of discussing something that's not on the agenda at this meeting. I think if you guys would like to vote on adding this as a discussion item at the next meeting, that's okay. But from a Brown Act perspective, we probably delve too far into discussion of this item for it not being on the agenda tonight. So I would ask that we motion second and vote to add it as a discussion next meeting, if that's what you'd like to do, or we move on to the...
Motion to add it, or we just add it?
No, just let me know that you're adding it, that's fine.
We're adding it.
That's fine. Okay.
All right, do we have any other, and you guys gotta understand, I adore this human, but it's just something that had to be said. Is there any other agenda items that we have? None at this time. I think that would probably fill. Did I make my time? You know me in time.